All right, Atlanta, buckle up because we've got some wild stuff to get into when it comes to the Falcons. Now, here's the headline. Is a Kirk Cousins trade still on the table? The Falcons have been loud and proud ever since last season ended, saying they're more than happy to keep Cousins as the backup behind rookie Michael Penix Jr. But let's be honest, around the league, folks weren't buying it. Most execs thought it was just a smokescreen to move him quicker. But now, it's getting weird. Free agency's done. The draft's right around the corner. OTAs are about to kick off. And guess what? Kirk Cousins is still on the roster. No bites, no serious movement. There was some buzz around the Cleveland Browns, but then they went out and brought in Joe Flacco, so that door might be shut. Might. Albert Breer isn't ready to count it out entirely, but it's fading fast. Now here's a spicy one. The Pittsburgh Steelers. If that whole Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh talk falls apart, don't be surprised if the Steelers look over at Cousins as a stopgap. Sure, that locker room's got some strong personalities, and Kirk's vibe might not exactly scream Steel City grit, but hey, stranger things have happened. Once Rodgers picks a direction, it could open a lane for Cousins. Breer said it himself. Cleveland's looking like a pipe dream, and all signs are pointing to Pittsburgh locking in Rodgers. If that happens, Cousins might be stuck in Atlanta, unless someone else surprises us. Section 2. Should the Falcons trade for Jalen Ramsey? Let's flip it to the defensive side. The Falcons had one of the worst defenses in the league last season, and if we're being real, they didn't exactly light it up in free agency. Instead of landing difference makers, Atlanta swapped out Justin Simmons, Grady Jarrett, and Matthew Judon for Jordan Fuller, Morgan Fox, and Leonard Floyd. That's not exactly an upgrade. One league exec even said it best. They replaced average with more average. They also picked up Divine Diablo and re-signed Mike Hughes and D. Alford to try and add depth. But the truth is, there's still a lot of holes out there. And now, the pressure's sky high on all those draft picks from the last few years to finally hit. We're talking about guys like Rook Orhorhoro, Braylon Trice, Brandon Dorless, Arnold Abikidi, Zach Harrison, Troy Anderson, Clark Phillips III, DeMarco Helms, and D'Angelo Malone. That's a lot of draft capital, and the Falcons are banking on those dudes stepping up fast. So could trading for a guy like Jalen Ramsey make sense? Maybe. But given what the defense is working with, any big swing comes with risk. Do they gamble and go get a proven vet? Or double down on what they've already built? It's going to be one hell of an offseason, folks. All right, so let's be honest here. Outside of Arnold Ebiketie, none of those defensive draft picks have consistently shown up on Sundays. That puts even more heat on GM Terry Fontenot heading into the draft. And let's not sugarcoat it. Outside of the first round, Fontenot hasn't exactly been crushing it when it comes to landing instant impact guys. Now, if the draft's looking a little thin and the Falcons only have 5 picks, the trade market starts to look a whole lot better. And guess who just popped up on the radar? According to Ian Rappaport, the Dolphins and Jalen Ramsey are open to exploring trade options. Word is, Ramsey wouldn't mind suiting up for a new squad in 2025, and the Falcons should absolutely be in that conversation. The money situation? Yeah, it's a little tight. Atlanta's got around $10 million in cap space, but that's fixable. They could restructure a few deals, maybe re-sign guys like Jesse Bates III or Darnell Mooney in creative ways. A post-June 1st trade of Kirk Cousins would also free up a chunk of change, though counting on that might be a long shot. As for Ramsey, here's the deal. He's got $24.3 million guaranteed in 2025, with a cap hit sitting around $16.6 million. Not cheap, but not impossible. Plus, Miami might be willing to deal for less, especially since they just gave him a 3-year, $72.3 million extension last September. He's the highest paid corner in the league, but with that kind of money already committed, the price tag in a trade might not be sky high. And get this, There's already a connection in Atlanta. Head coach Raheem Morris worked with Ramsey back in their Rams days. Morris was the DC in LA while Ramsey was doing all-pro things on the regular. And Ramsey? He's a big fan of Morris. He was hyped when Atlanta brought him in. Now sure, Ramsey will be 34 when his deal ends, but that doesn't mean the dude's washed. If anything, a move to safety later in his career, like Charles Woodson did, could extend his impact. And no, just because the Falcons re-signed Mike Hughes, D. Alford, kept Clark Phillips III, and added Kevin King doesn't mean they're set at corner. A draft pick or a trade for Ramsey? Still 100% on the table.